Howdy folks, wanted to address a question that Ali had put out there regarding WDI inspections and home inspections and termite damage that was found during the home inspection. Because there's a couple different things that are at play here. One of the challenges with our WDI inspection, and when I say WDI I mean wood destroying insects, because that's what the termite, what we call the termite report is. It's not just about termites, it's about wood destroying insects. So the WDI has a capped limit. If you don't put any numbers in the paragraph of the purchase agreement, then it's capped at $1,000. But that doesn't prevent a home inspector from identifying termite damage during a home inspection. There was a response from Mark, I believe, that said the home inspector can't comment on termites because they're not licensed in it. Well, some home inspectors are licensed in it, number one, with termites. And home inspectors also should be calling out any sort of damage that they discovered, regardless of the source. So what happens if Ali's question was about if a buyer discovers this damage, requests a credit, but the seller didn't want to be have a double dip on it, if you will. And they can't do a double dip, number one. That doesn't make any sense. Number two, it's probably smarter for a buyer to ask for it under home inspection and the seller to repair it if they're going to do that. Because one of the other challenges is some lenders these days, I'm finding more and more, are requiring a copy of at least the WDI inspection, because that's in the purchase agreement. And sometimes they're even, some have, I can't believe they've done this, but they've asked for copies of the home inspection report, which opens up all sorts of worms. You don't really want that. So it's probably better for a seller to address, either in credit or other form, the WDI issues that discovered during a home inspection under that paragraph. Of course, they also are potentially exposed to a lot more money versus dealing with it under WDI. So there's, like I said, there's just a bunch of ways to look at this and attack it, but a buyer can't double dip on something. And that's where you'd want to make sure that any credits you're given during the home inspection are addressed, that are specifically identified under home inspection. So I see somebody's on here, but can't really tell. No viewers to invite yet. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer him here or in some below. So like I said, there's a bunch of moving parts here. There's a lot of things that are unknown, but you can always push back and say, buyer, you can't double dip on both home inspection and WDI. But like I said, WDI has a capped limit on it. Home inspection doesn't really have a capped limit on it, and they are not necessarily mutually exclusive inspections. In fact, more and more, I would recommend buyers to do any and all inspections, including WDI, including septic, including well, during their inspection time frame, because then things kind of get wrapped up earlier in the process. One of the challenges with WDI, of course, that inspection is usually done very, very close to settlement, because it needs to be within the 30-day window of inspection and settlement. So a lot of sellers will wait until the last, or a lot of listing agents sometimes will wait until the last 2 weeks or so, just so that it's done and you don't have to redo it before settlement. So just one of those little sort of catch-22, damned if you do, damned if you don't, areas that you can be in. And that's just where you need to make sure that when you are making modifications, when you're making changes, especially during like home inspection, that you don't open yourself up, or you make things very clear so that at the end you don't get a sort of secondary request. But this is one of those little tenuous kind of paths that we walk when it comes to getting a property from contract to close. And a lot of times you don't know that these issues are going to come up until well into the process. That's part of the reason why we as professionals are inserted into the process. So I'm happy to answer any other questions, but it's like I said, it wasn't such a simple answer as the general counsel for Virginia Realtors would say. It depends. There's a lot of moving parts on this, as with most of our contract issues, and that's where you really do need to know your contract well. So no double dipping, but you also want to guard your position of your clients. So feel free to post other comments, questions below, and I'll be happy to clarify them. Bye.